Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis, and today we're going to be talking about Casper Network, aka Casper the Friendly Ghost. So let's just dive in and let's start off with this tweet here. So I said, the fact that I could buy Casper again at summer entries is an early Christmas gift to me. And again, when we focus on a lot of these altcoins, they could go, lower. We don't know in the short term. All we know is that we have been averaging into Casper heavily because this is, to me, one of the most undervalued gems in the space. I don't know where I have posted it, but I know on Twitter I was talking about my Casper buys. In fact, here's one of them. So I was buying Casper back in September 19th. I bought about 80,000 of it for about 2.5 cents. And I've been very vocal and very transparent on a lot of my Casper buys. Here you guys have even more of them. Again, a very substantial amount of Casper has been accumulated during September, and we are back to those prices now, so I feel very strong about my conviction, and I will continue to accumulate at these prices that we do see, and we will address that here in a second. In terms of the holders tab, we are sitting at about 94,000 holders, a slight increase from my video the other day. I think that we were sitting at like 92,000, and a lot of people will say like, oh, well, there's 94,000 holders, so that means that we are late to the party. No. That is actually a very small amount of individuals. And again, like the price range, like here's the chart. I'm showing the chart over here, and the chart is crazy to me because when you go and look back at like these all-time highs from May of 2021, and you look at the price now, I mean, this could easily explode in value going forward, and I do believe that it will because the team is continuously updating us, continuously making a lot of noise, and it's not just your typical noise around like NFTs and the metaverse. No, they are making a strong presence within the financial grade sector and the enterprise grade sector, and that's very exciting, especially during a bear market. You want to see a lot of growth, you want to see a lot of noise being made during a bear market because not only does it give you confidence around your investment, but it also gives you confidence around the team behind the project, which is always great to see. Now, with all that in mind, let's talk about prices. So I seen this tweet over here from Kevin Cage, and he was responding to an individual on Twitter because we seen Ron Nooner, who is a fairly large financial institution. Well, I was about to say financial institution, a finance influencer around crypto, who is a crypto trader and all that kind of stuff. But we do see $10,000 to invest right now. Where do you put it? And there's Solana, there's APT, and Matic. And it's funny because we already look at some of these projects, and Kevin Cage did respond perfectly to this. And he said Solana, huge VC token backed by SBF, already did a 500x. APT, huge VC project, pump and dump, backed by FTX, again, couple hundred million. And then Matic did an 800x from all-time low, still up over 250x from the low. And then, yeah, I'll place my bets in Casper for the future as we sit at the all-time low and it's ignored. And yes, we have been looking at a lot of things happening around Casper, and a lot of people will say, like, just spitballing, I hold Casper. Are they just printing tokens to infinity and beyond to keep themselves going? The price decay and the total supply are kind of screaming this won't get better. Are they getting adopted? Is there growth in prospects? Cheers. And again, there is an inflation tab for Casper. I mean, it's an 8% year-over-year inflationary aspect to it. But they are not just printing tokens out of thin air just to back themselves or anything like that. We have seen a lot of growth from the Casper team. Like I said, they have been making a ton of noise, and I do believe that the growth will definitely come in terms of the value of the token, but also Casper as a team. They've been making a ton of noise at a lot of these major events, which I do assume will amount to some major partnerships. We've seen a few partnerships already kind of blossom out from like IPWE, IBM, and there's a ton of other ones as well that we have talked about, especially in terms of the enterprise grade area, but also we looked at the ecosystem in just my last video alone, and we do see over here like board member of the Casper Association, RRK, his name is Ralph Kubel, and we do see gave his keynote at Eurofinance Tech Day in Frankfurt this week. Asset-backed digital financial assets, the future of finance is here. And then we did see a slight quote for this tweet as well from The Hill Capital, which I thought was very interesting. And we do see ABDC Transition Advisory managing the transition to the new asset-backed digital economy. I believe that Casper will also be a key player behind this, and I think that going forward we will see a major move from companies like Casper that are a part of these huge events that also have a lot of major business players and financial institutions there, like HSBC, ING, and a few other ones. And I think that this is a very interesting area to focus on. And of course, this is with Nucleus Finance, which is a partnership of Casper's. If you guys didn't know already, definitely look into Nucleus Finance. I think I broke them down on a video previously, but I will definitely make a new video on that and really kind of talk about my ideas around this, because I think that this could be very substantial around the digital economy. And I do think that, like I said, Casper is going to power a big area within that. Now, let's take a look at these prices of some of these altcoins. So I have Matic and Solana open over here. So we do see Matic is still up about 195x off of the lows. And by the way, like we could technically go off of like this area back here where it first came out on Binance. Same with Solana. Like I'm going off of like just the area of major price action. So again, still up about 195x off of the lows. It did about a 704x move. Here's Solana up 562x, still up about 24x. And when we look at Casper, it's very interesting because I have this like 503x over here at $13. The interesting thing about that is that, yeah, it would be over $130 billion in market cap, but I could definitely see this happening probably long term, but I wouldn't get my hopes up just yet. More so what I have been focused on is even just like the major outreaches to like the $4.78 zone, which would be about 180x. Now, the reason why I think that this could happen is that this is like right around the same market cap as some of the other top like 25 tokens at their all-time highs. You got to remember that Dogecoin did a massive run, Shiba Inu did a massive run. I mean, some of these tokens have had market caps upwards of like 50 to 100 billion dollars at the tops of the bull run. So I'm not, writing Casper off at all in terms of like where it could go. But one thing is clear to me. And that's like some of these levels between like the $1 to even $3 range that I think are very highly probable. Like even for an example, like the $2.76 zone, which would be trading at about like roughly, I think it's around like $30 billion or something like that in market cap. This would be a 100x from these lows that we are at now. And these lows, by the way, very interesting. I'm watching to see if this is going to break this support zone down here. We might get some slight wicks down. The big areas, though, and the focus point that I have right now on Casper is the candle bodies. And the candle bodies here between the major support zones is trading at around roughly 2.5 cents to about 2.7. So if we lose this range here, we would most likely come back down to like the ICO prices below 2 cents, which would be trading at about like 1.5 cents. A very interesting area, but I'm focused on this range down here. I have started to average in. I even told you guys, like I bought some up here. I bought some on all of these major support zones just to kind of hedge my bets on what's going to happen next. We ended up rejecting off of all of them, and now we are looking at if this red line down here at about roughly 2.7 is going to hold or not, because this is a very interesting area that I've been focused on for a while. This is a huge area of interest to me because, like I said, if we do come down lower, that means much higher ROI when we do start to break out. I mean, even if we come back down to test those lows going all the way back to June, which was trading at about almost 2 cents, this is still a 124x opportunity run to those highs up there at about like the 4618. Now, the only reason why I say the 4618 is highly probable is just because that's a highly probable area that we've always outreached to on some of the other major altcoins in the space, but also even going off of the all-time high that is labeled on CoinMarketCap and even on Casper Stats, which is like right around the $1.33 area, the 4618 is pushed higher up on the chart. There's not a really good, and I always say like this as a major warning sign out there to individuals as well, is like we don't actually have a very good starting point in terms of an all-time highs, because like this came out as an ICO. So there's not a lot of data to go off of and reflect off of on Casper than just kind of compare and contrast it to other altcoins, which I don't think is like a very good thing to do, just because it could get your hopes up. What I'm more so looking at is like, okay, well, first off, we target the 10x, and then we go and target like the 100x. I think that some of these levels could very well blossom in. I'm more so very interested on like the $1 range to about like the $3 range. I think that that's a perfect area to look at. It's not too big of a move. Again, remember, going off the statistics, we're sitting at about like roughly 11.3 billion supply of Casper. So when we really kind of look at like $3, it's roughly within like the 30, it's like the 33.5 billion dollar market cap range, with a lot of marketing happening, a lot of events happening. Like Casper's making its name known everywhere next to some high prestigious names. I do think that they will continue to build out, continue to make a lot of noise. I think that going into the next major bull run, it's questionable on how high this entire market will run. Could it do a 500x like Matic, or like Solana, and do a 700x like Matic? It's questionable, right? Because you got to understand that all of these tokens are completely different in tokenomics and what they are focused on, how much they have in terms of building, all that kind of stuff. If we are looking at like roughly $10 going off these lows down here, this would be a 477x, almost a 478x. And I'm not saying that $10 is going to happen, just because, again, it's questionable. It requires a lot of money to pour into Casper. It requires a lot of hype, a lot of demand, and it's just questionable on how high we could actually go. Like I said, don't get your hopes up on a $10 plus Casper just yet. More so long term, I could definitely see that, but I'm just really kind of targeting some of the demand ranges here, some of the resistance zones. Like this would be a 51x opportunity off of these lows, just to like almost the resistance zone of the 13th, like the May 13th and 12th time frame, and even going off some of these higher areas, like even like the $2.14 zone of the 1618. Like this would be about almost 100x opportunity. So again, like Casper has a ton of potential in it, comparing it to other tokens, but I think that just right now we should be focused on how low can this thing go, how low can we accumulate this. Are we averaging in? I'm 100% averaging in. I have been averaging in. I think that these are some safe areas in my opinion. Can it go lower? 100%. Any token can go lower in this space, but I have been focused on this level here. This entire level under like 2.5 cents, in my opinion, is fair play. I think it's fair play to average in, take some positions. When we were pumping back here in October and from September, everyone was like, man, do you think that's going to come back down to these levels? Do you think it's going to come back down to these levels? Anything is possible. This is, though, the area that I've been focused on for us to break out and have a major breakout, because this is back into the demand channel, back into the support range that we were at during March of 2022 and even during July of 2021 before we ran to like 24 cents. So this is key resistance. Focus on that when we do start to pump again. For now, though, all we are focused on is the demand range and getting into these incredible entries on Casper that could very well set us up for extremely life-changing wealth. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys have more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. Us up to you all. Have a beautiful day, beautiful night. If you guys are on this beautiful world, this has been Nick. Peace out, guys.